Hey, everybody, welcome to Tiny Towns at Noon. I'm Todd Rowland, and I'm here with Vlad Oriana,
Hello, everyone.
Ryan Dancy,
Hello.
Josh Wood,
Hello.
Peter McPherson, the designer of Tiny Towns,
Howdy.
and our special guest today, Kat Ryder of Glory Houndd Productions. How are you, Kat?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Thank you for
Awesome.
joining us today. Um, Pete is going to be hosting today and running the game, so I'm going to toss it over to him to fill you in on how we play Tiny Towns here online.
Yes, so today we have just a classic setup for everyone. We've got the cottage for our blue building. The farm is our red building. The fountain for our gray building. The abbey for orange. The tavern for red. The theater for yellow. And the bank for black. So a classic setup with a couple twists there. Vlad, who do we have in the chat today joining us?
I will tell you in 1 second, Pete.
Okay.
I think-
And remember, if you're playing at home, to deal yourself 2 monuments from the deck. Just take out the Starloom and Opalize Watch before you deal yourself 2. So you get 2 monument cards. Choose one that you're going to go for this game and set aside the other.
Okay, and I would like to say hi to Emily, David, Damien, Alice, Allison, Julian, Emily, Amy. Whoa. Okay, I'm probably saying this wrong. And Alex. Thank you for being today on the stream, and we're ready to go, Pete.
Awesome. All right, so I'll start you off right away. The first resource is a wheat.
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 Right off the bat, huh?
Oh, I also want to say hi to Origami Goblin. He's on Twitch joining us.
Cool. All right, and to follow up that wheat, we have a brick. You know, we talk a little bit here on the stream about the win stats of us AEG players, but I'd be sort of curious to know the win stats of those in the chat. I'm sure they haven't been keeping tabs against each other, but I wonder who our big winners have been. I mean, there were some really impressive scores on Monday with that really tough setup. So we have some formidable players here joining us. And after that brick is player's choice.
Well, I think JH and Thomas are ones with the highest scores on the chat. I have seen Jade reaching the 50s and Thomas reaching the 40s a couple of times.
I know Sarah and her roommate often, get up there, and I know they've beaten me on days, for sure.
Then we have a wood next after player's choice.
Nice.
Wood. What's your strategy for today, Josh?
I'm gonna go with a heavy Abbey strategy. I was really hoping John would be here today because he always complains about the Abbey, and I just sort of want to win with the Abbey today and just rub it in his face. But he's not in here today. But I'm going heavy Abbeys, actually.
Michael,
and after that, sorry, go ahead, Vlad.
Okay, I was just saying that Michael Bordon is playing with his nephews and nieces today, so he's having a full table.
Wonderful. That's great. After that wood is a brick.
Man, this is a perfect calling so far.
Do what I can. I rigged this deck just for you, Josh.
Wow.
Give you your 14th win or whatever you're up to.
You said brick, right?
I said brick, yes.
I don't know.
Kat, do you want to talk a little bit about Glory Houndd Productions and what it is you do there?
Yeah, absolutely. We do playthroughs and we talk about Kickstarters specifically because Kickstarters are so important in the market right now. Yep. And like there's so many of them. So having somebody to kind of go through all of them with everybody makes things so much fun, and we're really interactive with our chat. So it's not just getting our opinions, it's getting our regular people who check out Kickstarter all the time, their opinions, and it becomes like a group collective of hanging out and checking out Kickstarters and getting really excited for them and seeing what's happening in that world, because it's almost like a whole different world from just the board game market. You know, it has its own hype engine running and everything, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. Next up is a player's choice. So how do you think these weird times are affecting Kickstarter? Do you think people are getting more pumped up about them because deliveries to home are particularly exciting, or do you think things are going to be a little tamer?
Deliveries to home are always exciting, no matter what time.
It's true.
I think that the Kickstarter market has definitely slowed down quite a bit, but I mean, you have games like Frosthaven that made millions of dollars that is, it just blew up. So there's still people out there. There's still people that are backing those Kickstarters, but people are being really, really selective with what they're choosing at this moment, but they still are backing things. So, and we're seeing an uptick in those Kickstarters coming back to the market here soon. So
cool. That's awesome. All right. And following player's choice is Glass. And I have a little bit of trivia prepared for everyone today. This is going to be invention-based trivia. And we're going to use Josh's over-under system from before, just guessing the date that different inventions came to be. So hopefully everyone has a ballpark idea of when these things came into existence.
Wow.
Some of these dates are surprising. So it should be, hopefully it'll be pretty interesting. So I've already made the teams here. Vlad, are you cool to play, or do you want to focus on your thing?
I can play.
All right, cool. First up, I'm going to give everyone a brick following Glass.
You know what, Pete? You have not given me a resource where I'm like, oh, I have to start a second building. Like, every single resource you give me is going to what I am currently constructing.
Happy for
Been
you.
really good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So Team A is going to be Ryan and Todd, and then Team B is going to be Josh, Kat, and Vlad.
Okay.
So I will throw the first question to Team A. The way this is going to work is I will ask Team A, in what year do you think this thing was invented? And then Team B can take the over or the under and say, I think it is more recent than that, or I think it was invented before that year. If Team B is incorrect, then Team A gets a point. If Team B is correct, then Team B steals the point. Does that make sense to everyone?
Makes sense.
Cool.
Sure. Are we talking relatively modern inventions, or are you going to pull out like the millstone and ask us what year that was made or something?
I'm not going to give you any hints about these years. It could be any point in human history. First, I'll give you a player's choice.
All right.
Oh,
And one final point of order: we are Team A plus, not just
Team A plus. There we go.
Wow.
Pete, what did you mention after Glass?
After Glass was Brick, and then
And then
following
player's
Brick
choice.
was player's choice.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So Team A, your first question is: when was the fax machine invented?
oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. What? That's you and me, right, Ryan?
That's correct, Todd.
Okay. Was it either? It was either the late 70s or early 80s.
I mean, it has to be after the introduction of the photocopier. They sent faxes from the moon. The very first pictures of the far side of the moon was essentially a fax. I think we say 1950s.
All right, we need to pick a specific date so they can go over under. So how about
1955.
55. Okay, I'll give everyone a wheat really quick. So 1955 is Team A's guess. Team B, do you think it was invented earlier or later than 1955?
Earlier. I think it's earlier. I don't know. Just.
Oh my god.
I mean, I don't want to speak for my team, but that my vote is for earlier.
I will go early 60s, so I think later. So, what do you think?
I'm gonna be like the deciding factor between earlier and later. That's not good.
Comes down to you.
Yeah, I'm putting all that pressure on your shoulders.
Thanks for that.
Welcome to Tiny Towns Live.
Oh man, I think the fax machine. Okay, I'm gonna say earlier, but like hopefully by like a hair. Okay.
All right, so I'll give you the next one, which is a stone following the wheat. Earlier is correct. The fax machine, for some reason, still in use today, was invented in 1843.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
I was pretty sure it was the 40s.
Oh my gosh.
1843.
43. by Alexander Bain, a Scottish inventor. Yep. It is old.
Wow.
They're annoying to use, and we still use them because it's a secure way to send images. And yeah, I think even in the 1840s, they were being used to send Word documents, and shortly after, they were able to send photos, I think.
Word docs, yeah. Microsoft Office is really old.
Yes. After that stone is player's choice. So that is a point for Team B. And now Team E gets to take a swing at things. And I will pose this one to Josh. So, Josh, when was human-made plastic first invented?
So, Bakelite, I believe, is the first plastic.
Ooh.
Sounds right to me.
And
sounds right to you. Wow. Okay.
Bakelite was the first plastic, and for some reason I thought that was the 20s, but that could be the teens.
I'm going to give everyone a wheat really quick after player's choice.
Because that was invented during like Art Nouveau times, which is as early as the 1900s. So I'm going to say 1908.
1908. Okay, Team A, do you think it was invented earlier or later than 1908?
I think Bakelite was the first plastic. Wow, that's a good guess, Josh. 1908.
Yeah, I put in that Art Nouveau time because I know it existed during that movement, and I believe the Eiffel Tower was 09.
I'm going to give everyone a wood after that wheat.
I feel like the answer is later.
I'm fine to default to whatever you think, Ryan.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue on this one.
The answer is, it is earlier, 1862, Parkesine. So invented by Alexander Parks.
1860.
1862. Yep. So that's another point for Team B there. Yep. And then the final call of the deck
can someone in the
player's
chat?
choice.
Can someone look up when Bakelite was invented? Because now I need to know.
Okay, sure. I will check.
Player's choice is the final call of the deck after wood right there. Shuffle up.
Maybe that was a commercial plastic. I don't know.
It was named for its inventor and who discovered the durable plastic in 1907. Really
Whoa,
close.
really
Man,
close
I was
there.
so close to Bakelite.
That's impressive. All right, so Ryan, I'm throwing the next one to you.
Oh my gosh.
This one is slightly relevant in these times. When was toilet paper first invented? Earliest record we have of toilet paper.
The newest currency of the world.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I have this vague memory that it has something to do with sailors. Although this is the kind of weird thing. It could have been a luxury good in the medieval era, or the Romans. The Romans used a brush.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 1750.
1750. Okay, Team B.
Oh,
well, first I'll give everyone the first resource of the new deck, which is a brick. And then I'll throw it to Team B. 1750. Do you think toilet paper was invented earlier or later?
I think it's earlier. Because it was one of the first things that they do with paper. But I think it's 600s or early 1700s.
Could have been a Chinese thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking earlier as well.
Yeah, I'll go with my team.
I love the way you said that, Vlad. Look at this thing I invented and watch what I can do with it.
Ooh, I have an idea.
All right,
Yeah,
so
well,
earlier,
it was better than leaves.
Earlier is the consensus from Team B?
Yes.
Yes.
It is earlier. The year 589, Common Era, or AD, whatever you prefer.
Was it a Chinese? That had to be a Chinese thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And after that brick, I'm gonna have a wood. So this next question goes to our guest, Kat.
Thank you,
when
China.
was the first photograph taken?
Oh no.
Wow.
I told everybody I was super bad at trivia after this. So this is going to be like a ridiculous guess. The first photograph. Oh my gosh.
To be fair, no one has been close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh was close.
So
Wrong.
I was close. I was close. I was only 1 year off on Bakelite.
it's true. Wrong plastic, but close.
Let's see here. So I'm going to say 1880.
That's probably a pretty good guess.
All right, and next I'm going to give everyone a player's choice, and then we'll throw it back to Team A. 1880. Do you think the first photograph was earlier or later?
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. I know there's a picture of Abraham Lincoln, so it has to be earlier.
Yeah.
Is that your call earlier?
Yeah.
Yes, it was earlier. It was 1826.
Dang
That
it.
A French invention.
Ooh.
I'm not going to try to pronounce that person's name.
Daguerre? It's a daguerreotype, right?
No, it was not the daguerreotype. No.
Okay.
All right, and
Hold on.
after player's choice, we have a wood. So that is a point for Team A. The first point for Team A.
What is all the wood this game?
Okay, so the next question is going to go to Todd.
Okay.
And that is, when was the first computer program created?
First program.
First computer program, or another way to put it, the first program language.
Okay. And
be a more
okay,
fair
so
way to
punch
put it.
cards and all that count, right? I'm gonna say, I'm guessing the blue here. I'm gonna say 1915.
1915. Okay, the next call is going to be a stone. So 1915, Team B, what do you think? Earlier than 1915 or later?
It's earlier. I don't remember if it was 1840 or 1850, but I will say maybe, no, 1860? 1860, around that? I remember reading about someone. It was important because it was a woman that created the first program. I don't
Ada
remember
Lovelace.
the deal. Oh, okay. I think it was around 1860, so I will say earlier, but I don't remember the details.
I believe it's earlier as well.
Yeah, I'm going for earlier, definitely.
Alrighty, it is earlier, and it was Ada Lovelace, yes, in 1842.
World's first computer programmer was a woman.
Nice.
That's right.
She wrote a program for Charles Babbage's engine, even though the engine was never built.
Oh.
The difference engine, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. All right, and the next call is player's choice. How's everyone's towns doing?
Awful.
Yeah,
My
terrible.
question is, do we think that the villagers of tiny towns, do we think that they're going to create engines at some point? Like, how many? Because Pete and I talk about this. How
Are they going to industrialize?
Yeah,
Oh,
like we talk
wow. Industrialized
how-
tiny towns.
how the base game is very more medieval, and now we're moving a little bit more Renaissance. And I feel like if we just keep going, we're going to have like trains at some point. And at some point, they might just
Cyberpunk Town.
like I could see if we get to 20 expansions. I'm calling right now. If we get to the 20th expansion, there's going to be like flying cars
In space. Tiny towns in space.
Tiny towns.
After player's choice is a stone.
Yeah, if we get to 20 expansions, Josh, I'm probably using tiny towns to create a computer program.
You know,
All
Magic
squirrels
the Gathering
aspire
is
to space.
Yeah, I
Magic
saw
the Gathering
the
is
video.
Magic the Gathering is a Turing complete computer. It fulfills all the necessary requirements to be recognized as a mathematically complete operating system.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah, super odd.
After stone is a wheat. And
Weird
the
stuff
next
to learn,
question is for Vlad on Team B.
Okay.
Glad. When was the Landlord's game invented? Also known as the game that
The
very
early
directly
Monopoly.
inspired Monopoly. Yes.
Yeah. 1920. Oh! I will say 1926.
1926.
Yeah.
Okay,
I remember it's
Team
around
A.
that time.
Well, first, actually, I'll do player's choice, and then I'll send it back to Team A. Do you think it was earlier than 1926 or later?
Much earlier.
I think it was definitely earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was earlier, 1904, by Elizabeth Maggie.
No.
Yep.
I
So,
failed my team.
the world's most popular board game was made by a woman who did not get very much credit for it at all, although she tried. I think there were a couple lawsuits after Monopoly came out.
Origami's Goblin is saying on Twitch that he thinks that the 20th expansion of Tiny Towns should just be called Towns.
Towns, yes. Yeah. And the 40th expansion will be Large Towns. After player's choice is Glass.
Oh, good draw. Good draw.
And Michael is saying that he wants to see giant chipmunks driving cars in Tiny Towns.
What was the last call? I'm sorry?
Glass.
It was Glass.
Wow.
Giant chipmunks. It could happen. Could happen.
I have to say the trivia adds a whole new level to Tiny Towns. I'm like so lost. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to be putting down now?
Like it's not hard enough already. These yahoos want to make it harder.
It's a lot. It's even harder when John Zinser is asking everyone questions about various building materials.
That
was wild.
Big Tiny Towns.
Brain melted down on that one.
All right, after Glass is a Wheat.
What is with all the wheat, man? Come on, for real.
I'm sorry.
You're the program, Pete.
You're not sorry. Don't.
Sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
Katie,
Tell me in a second. There could be another.
Kat, what do you think is the most important thing a company can do on a new Kickstarter?
Wow, that's a great question.
Oh wow. There's a checklist of things that I think people need to start a Kickstarter, to get people interested. One is just marketing, getting in groups and talking about your Kickstarter ahead of time. That's super important. Sometimes you'll see people kind of throwing things up last minute and they might have done a lot of work on it, but they'll have these fantastic campaigns and then nobody knows about it, because they didn't get that initial boost that puts them at the top of all those engines and Kickstarter and everything. And then I think another really important thing is just having those playthroughs and examples of the games as you go through it, so people get an idea of the game, because the Kickstarter market is weird. You have gamers that'll go through and just like scroll down, just look at playthroughs, or scroll down, just see who reviewed it and everything. And those are an important part, because, those are the return people that are like, okay, I look at Dan's reviews, or I look at Man vs. Meeple reviews, and if they haven't reviewed this, then, I'm not looking at it. I don't know what this game is about. Just having that knowledge out there, because not everybody can just take a look at it at a page and scroll down and go, oh, I want this game, And people are so knowledgeable now on Kickstarter, they go back and research companies and when they delivered and all sorts of stuff. Like,
yeah.
It is not the same as it used to be in the beginning, for sure.
Mm-hmm. How easy is for you to just click and back a game? Like, for me, it's really easy. If I see a theme that I like, and then I check quickly the introduction video and the first things, and I go like, oh, I might be interested in this game, and the price is okay, I will back it in less than 5 minutes. But I have friends that take days to decide they want to back or not. So for you, how's the process?
I'm going to give a dealer's choice really quick before you answer that, Kat.
So yeah, days. It takes a while, especially because you have so many Kickstarters that are in those $100 marks, and there's a lot of people that can't always spend, $500, to back 5 different $100 games in a month. So you have a lot of people out there doing research and waiting weeks and looking at all the reviews and looking at all the playthroughs. And I think before the Kickstarter market, it was easier to go on there and see something and go, oh, the mechanics look cool in this. I love the theme. Like, I'm going to back this. And there weren't as many to choose from. And you were helping out a bunch of little companies that were starting up. Now it's like a death match out there.
Yeah, we know. We We do know.
Yep,
You
absolutely.
have, what was it, Frosthaven, and then Come On Games put up their big one that had like the Egyptian thing, and
Yeah, Ankh.
it was like a battle between those two, on who was going to get the most funding on that one,
Yeah, I'm gonna give everyone a glass really quick.
Yeah, and don't forget that we had the Dark Tower this year.
Oh, yes.
And that was considered a grail game for many players around the world.
Absolutely. And I love that people are bringing back games like that and putting them on Kickstarter and offering all these really just fantastic different options that you may not have been able to produce if you just ran it as like a normal game, and putting it out to market. So that's my favorite part of Kickstarter is, getting all those special things that you can get for your game. I want all the different shaped meeples, and I want things to make sounds, and like, I want all that exciting stuff,
Yep. Next up is a wheat. Kat, do you have any favorite recent Kickstarter campaigns? Any games you're really looking forward to arriving?
Oh my goodness. We end up backing so many of them. It's like in and out where we went through so many. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? There was a Vampire the Masquerade sort of skirmish style game that recently came up on Kickstarter, had like little minis and everything. And I love Vampire the Masquerade because I used to do a bunch of role-playing games as well. And that one really hit home for me because they had it stylized off of the older RPGs and everything. And then it's still a skirmish style game where you're moving miniatures around and fighting people and stuff. And that was really exciting for me to kind of see those two worlds kind of combine like that so seamlessly, because it usually doesn't happen like that.
Yeah. Awesome. Finally, there's a player's choice for the last call that run through the deck. So speaking of Kickstarters, Todd, do you want to talk a bit about Dead Reckoning?
Yeah. Good segue.
Yeah, mute myself. Sorry, the storm here was getting really loud. Yes, I'd love to talk about Dead Reckoning. That is the new one that we have coming very, very soon. In Dead Reckoning, you are playing John D. Clare's latest card crafting game where you and your crew of pirates set sail to explore and discover secrets and mysteries and treasure, and ultimately upgrade your crew through card crafting. And each of your crew members, I believe, can upgrade through 4 different levels, depending on which ones you want to focus on. And then ultimately, you will probably encounter other players' ships out at sea. And, well, there's not enough room in that unexplored sea for everybody. So there may be a little bit of cannon fire back and forth. But you definitely want to check it out. It's got an awesome pirate ship setup for the cube tower and resolving battles. It's just fantastic. So that'll be Dead Reckoning. It'll be out very, very soon on Kickstarter. So look it up. Go to our site, alderac.com/dead-reckoning, or Dead Reckoning, and you can subscribe and get updates and be told right when it launches.
Yeah,
Awesome.
click that remind me button.
Yeah, click that remind me button.
First call to fresh deck is a brick. Good. And there's also a deal on Guildhall going on right now. Is that right, Todd?
There is indeed a deal on Guildhall. Right now, you can get all 4 of the Guildhall fantasy games for the price of less than 2. That is 4 complete standalone games of Guildhall, all with characters with different abilities that you can then mix and match to make even more variety. So we never ran the numbers, but it's probably getting into 3 figures how many different setups you could possibly do between those 4 games. And right now you can get the whole thing for more than half off the normal price you pay, and that's at alderacstore.com.
Awesome. And following brick is a wheat.
Pete.
Dude, you've gone nuts with this wheat, man.
There were a lot of good cards in that deck, Pete, and wheat was not one of them.
Ryan.
Wow.
Yep, there might be more where that came from.
Ryan, if you can bring back a game of AEG with Kickstarter, which one will you bring back?
We would like to do a second edition of the world's largest dungeon, but we have no idea how to do it.
Yeah, I have heard John talk about that. And Todd?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Okay.
We have Warlord going in a heartbeat.
Okay. Josh, will you bring back any game from AEG into Kickstarter? No? You
I'm a
pass.
forward thinker. I want to do the new ones.
Awesome. That's totally interesting. And what do you say, Pete?
I'm not sure. Nothing comes to mind. I have to admit, I play more of the newer AEG games that
Sure.
are currently in print. So
Right.
yeah,
You
I
haven't
can't
been
say.
around for 30 years, Pete? Come on.
Not quite. All right, I'm gonna give everyone a player's choice, and then we'll get back to trivia here because we've got a few more questions.
I'm gonna
So
ask
this
the
one-
chat before that. Chat, do you want to bring any AEG game back to Kickstarter? Let us know in the chat. And now get back to your questions.
All right, so Ryan, when was the doorknob invented?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
That seems like an impossible question. Like there should be doorknobs in antiquity. Are you telling me the doorknob has a date?
The doorknob has a date.
He probably
What?
means the current mechanical functioning doorknob that's like patented or.
Okay, it's got to be a Victorian thing, right?
While he's thinking, I'm going to give everyone a wood after player's choice.
1832.
Okay, Team B, do you think doorknobs were invented later or earlier than 1832?
So, Josh, when were doors invented?
Doorknobs, not doors.
I know, but we found when doors were invented.
We-
Oh,
Probably a couple of years after people invented doorknobs.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
What year did you say, Ryan?
I
Said
picked some-
1832.
Yeah.
After wood is going to be another wood.
Ooh, double wood.
That actually
With-
worked out okay because I'm just building a second farm to get rid of that wood.
Because you're building a door. Okay, I wanted to share something with you guys before we do that. We got the first review for Death Reckoning. It's from Man vs. Meeple 1 minute ago.
Really?
And they are saying that it's easily the best card crafting game yet. Lots of options and decisions, so it also feels a little bit more weighty, which is wonderful for them because they gravitate towards that. It's probably the best game from John Declare in that area. So
Right on.
you heard it
Awesome.
here first. We got
That's all
good
true.
reviews. That's all
That's
true.
great. And then we have a player's choice for the next couple.
Goodness.
So I would guess earlier, like it makes sense, like Victorian times would do that, but I would say earlier. Earlier makes more sense to me.
Man, thinking like, can you imagine like a French palace without a doorknob? Like, I don't know. This is a ridiculous question.
Team B, what's the consensus?
I'm gonna say earlier. Yeah.
I'm also gonna say earlier. I'm go with Kate.
All right, this is a point for Team A. It is later. It was invented
Yay!
in 1878. It's later, so that's a. You guys said earlier, so that's a point for Team A. Ryan, yeah, Ryan was on the market at 1832. Yeah,
crazy.
When was
What
the-
did they do before
1878?
1870 something?
I mean, it probably is like the
mechanical thing with a knob that turns and the latch that retracts. And okay, all right.
Next up is, oh man, it's a third wood.
Wow, all the
you
wood.
can do something with that.
We're gonna revoke your drawing privileges, Pete.
I'm
That is
sorry.
the lowest scoring
This is
game
way
ever.
too John Zinzery.
Yeah.
Johnson, that's great.
Andy is saying that he would like to see World Largest Dungeon back on Kickstarter because that was one of the most tiring reviews he ever did.
Yeah, we just don't know how to do it. We don't make role-playing games anymore, and we don't have that capacity, but we would love to do it.
All right, after wood is a brick. I'll give you a break from the wood only because that's all the wood there is in the deck.
Yeah, no kidding.
That is them. Okay, so this question is for Josh. Josh, when were jeans invented? Denim jeans. And after that brick is a player's choice.
I mean, they had them on like the Oregon Trail. They had them in like Cowboy Times, but I don't think that they predate a lot of that.
After player's choice is a glass.
Um,
Now he calls it.
Taking a huge risk now.
I guess. Wow. Sorry, I gotta like get my piece of the thing. I would guess like 1834.
34. Okay, after glass is another glass.
All right, that
Alrighty
killed me.
then.
I'm out.
1834. Team A, do you think jeans were invented earlier or later than 1834?
Well, they're Levi's, right? Isn't it like right on the label?
I'm not going to answer that question.
I think they were invented for the California Gold Rush, like 1849.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking. Like I know that they existed around the Oregon Trail, but maybe they were invented just years before that. Because I think they had them on. I said.
What did Josh say?
1834.
34. I think later.
Yeah, I think it's later too because it does say it on the label.
I'm going to give everyone a dealer's choice after that glass. It is later, 1871. That means the teams are tied up.
Oof, we die.
Oh, I built my Abbey in the wrong square. Gosh, darn it. This is going to suck. Oh,
That's rough. All right, and after player's choice is a stone. So this next question is for Kat. This is our second to last question. I might have to do a tiebreaker. We'll see. Kat, when were sunglasses invented? And these are, I'll say, sunglasses with tinted lenses. There were some earlier forms of, shading out the sun.
Okay. Let's see here. I mean, what year did people want to look really cool in?
Right.
So, because we all know that's the one reason. Anybody wears sunglasses. I'm gonna say, let's say 1910. My random guess of randomness.
All right. And I will give everyone another glass really quick.
Oh man.
And we just had a comment that someone was killed with all that glass.
Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. So back to Team A, 1910. Do you think sunglasses were invented earlier or later than 1910?
I'm trying to remember the earliest picture I can think of that somebody had sunglasses on.
After that glass will be a player's choice to end that run through the deck.
I feel like this could be a weirdly recent invention. It's either really recent or really old. Like, I mean, welders had welding masks pretty early. A hard thing to do would be to tint the glass and still make it optically opaque, like optically transparent. That's hard. Wow, I'm stumped. I think it's either really, really early, like it's in their Chinese thing, or it's sometime in the 20th century. So I think we should go with later, Todd. What do you think?
What was the date you picked again?
1910.
She picked. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll go later.
It is later. It's 1929. So you're really close there, Kat. Yep.
Dang it.
That was a good guess, though.
All right, and who's still going in our chat here?
In the chat, lots of people.
Sorry, who's still going among AEG folks? I suppose.
I'm still going.
Is just Josh then? All right, we're gonna pick things up a little bit. So Josh, next up you have another glass.
Really? What?
No,
we're
gonna pick one resource, and Josh is gonna place it 3 times, and then it'll be.
Pete, that's our 4th glass.
It's the 4th. Oh, this is a new run through the deck, but it is 4 glass in a close proximity.
Okay, what was the one before the last glass? Do you know?
Should be dealer's choice.
There's dealer's choice, and I think there was a stone.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. After that glass is a wheat. Here it comes again. Okay, so the final question, unless the teams get tied up here, is going to be for Todd. Todd, when was the piano invented?
Oh my!
Piano, very nice.
I assume you're not taking like, are you counting harpsichords and things like that, or just the modern piano?
The modern piano.
Modern piano. Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna say 1720.
1720. Okay, and Josh, I'm going to give you, and everyone else still playing, a dealer's choice. 1720. Team B, do you think the piano was invented earlier or later than that?
Any guesses?
Good guess, Todd. You stumped him.
What you want to do?
Plausible enough.
I think it's not 1600, but it shouldn't be that deeply in the 1700s before the 1800s.
After dealer's choice is a brick.
All right, I am out.
Right.
So what do you think? I think it's early, but not by a much. 1710, maybe?
Yeah, like I want to lean a little bit towards early, but definitely not much. But I don't know if it's worth it to lean early for that.
Well, I'm sorry. I completely missed this question. I had a.
So, what year was piano invented? Todd said 1720.
I think earlier.
Okay, so we go earlier.
Okay, you go earlier and you tie up the game. It was invented in 1700.
Oh, 20 years.
Oh, you were
so close, Todd.
Yeah.
All right, after that break, for those still playing at home, is a wheat. Vlad, does it look like we have
20 years out of 300 is not bad.
They were thinking 100 years earlier, not 10 years earlier.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yep.
Okay, do you want me to finish the row with resources?
Yes, if you're still going, congratulations on surviving that onslaught of wheat and glass.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so the tiebreaker question. Oh, here's how we're going to do this. It's going to be a guaranteed tiebreaker because we will just have both teams say an answer, and then whoever is closer, we'll say closer. Well, yeah, we'll just do closer. Will win. So, I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna have both teams. Let's see. I gotta pick a champion from each team. So we're gonna have Ryan from Team A.
Okay. And not me.
Vlad, and then Vlad from. You say not me, Vlad?
Exactly.
Okay. Kat, are you okay with being the champion for Team B?
Yay!
I guess so.
All right.
It's working.
Okay, so don't blurt out the answer just yet. But in what year was radar invented? So think about your answer, and then I'll have you both say it at the same time-ish, and whoever is closer, whether you go above or below, is gonna nab the win for their team. So let me know when you're both ready.
Ready.
I think I'm ready.
Okay, let's hear it. 3, 2, 1.
1928.
1928, 1960. It was actually
1860. Yeah.
Quick math. 1860, and then he said 1928. Okay, so that is going to go to Team A. Radar was invented in 1904.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, it
Congrats.
is pretty old, but yeah, that was a very close game. So congrats, Team A. And are we getting any scores from the chat yet, Vlad?
Yes, I will let you know the scores on the chat as soon as I find my mouse cursor. Okay, there you go.
It's on the other screen.
And I don't think Thor is letting us his score because that's 1935, so I think he was guessing. Michael is out with 24. His niece is out with 23. And no, his nephew and his niece are out with 24 and 23, and he got stuck with 17. David is saying that he's out with 33, and that glass hole sent him 5 points low. Wow. Emily is out with 23, David with 24. Julian is currently the high score with 38. Alice is out with 26. Amy is out with 23. And Sarah Scouts is out with 33. Amy's out with 37, and she says that that's the highest score yet.
Wow.
These
So-
are some really good scores.
Yeah.
All right. Has everyone here had a moment to add up their own boards?
I'll be there in a second.
Okay, we'll get to you last.
I will
Josh.
start. I didn't play. I'm
All right.
sorry. I'm still
All right, so
having
you get,
issues
you
with
get what's our
production.
default score that we give you, Vlad? 24 points.
It's
You get
5
24
points. No.
5 points.
5 points is the default. That's still
right,
good enough
Ryan.
with certain setups.
21.
Ryan, how did you do?
21.
21. Alrighty. And Todd?
I did horribly. I had 19.
19. All right. Kat?
I did 23, but I'm pretty sure I missed stuff and like misplaced stuff because I was so distracted by these questions.
We'll count it. We'll count it.
It counts.
Sounds legit. Yeah. Josh, do you have your score there?
I have 26.
26.
Wow.
That is probably our lowest winning score, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I counted up 26 at the end. I was like, well, I didn't win today for sure.
I haven't seen a single game besides this when you reach below 30.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, there was another day that I had a real bomb of a day. I did this thing where I was going to try to. I had to build 2 farms, and then I tried to connect my my like abbeys for my silver forum, and that would have been 5, and that would have been that would have been about 5 more points, and that's kind of what I was aiming to do, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
All that bad resources.
Yes, I apologize. That 3rd and 4th runs of the deck were pretty brutal. So, Kat, before we go here, is there anything else you want to talk about that you have going on, or anywhere else people can find you?
Sure. You guys can find me at GloryHoundd.com. That's GloryHoundd with 2 Ds at the end because GloryHoundd, the band, took the other one, although like they have pretty decent music, so I guess it's okay. But we do playthroughs and we talk about lots and lots of Kickstarters, so make sure to join us for that. We have a ton of fun. We have a Kickstarter show on this Friday where we're going to be talking about new stuff, and we're going to do some playthroughs this week. I mean, especially right now with everybody sitting at home, like I feel like things like this, like playing Tiny Towns, is what people need. People need to play along and like connect online together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's the reason that we are doing this. And if you need someone to go and play with you, let us know and we will be on the show.
That would be fantastic. And thanks
Sure.
so much for having me. This was fun. I did terrible, but this was fun.
It was
You
great.
great.
You did
We
great.
really
Thank you
love
so
your
much
neon.
for and thank you so much for joining and playing today. Thanks also to everyone at home who joined us, and we will be back tomorrow with another game of Tiny Towns at high noon.
And remember that on Friday we're playing a Space Base. All right, everyone. See you.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
All right,
Bye.
see
Be
ya.
safe, everyone.
Bye.